It was a beautiful day out with my girlfriend. Of course, it was beautiful. Every day with my girlfriend is a beautiful one. We were walking down the model kit aisle at Hobby Lobby. If you don't know, Hobby Lobby runs a 40% discount on all of their model kits, including Gunpla every other week. So if there's a Hobby Lobby near you, make sure to check it out. Of course, the selection isn't going to be the most diverse, but you can't beat their prices. Some kits I've seen there includes HG Kashashia, MG Zeta 2.0, MG Zeta Verka, MG RX78-2 2.0 and 1.5, MG Shenlong EW, and various other HGs and RGs. But the kit that caught my attention is the kit we are reviewing today, the Full Mechanics Kenbu Zan. I instantly jumped and got excited upon seeing it, but decided to not buy at that moment because I was visiting my girlfriend that lives outside my state, so it would have been hard carrying it back home with me through public transport. But when I visited her again last month for our 2-year anniversary, she surprised me with a kit as a gift for our special occasion. You best know I was excited as a kid receiving a new toy, so thank you again, babe, for this wonderful present. Okay, story time over. Now, if you're a new Gundam fan, or even been a fan for a long time, the name Kenbu Zan might not be familiar with you, and that's okay, because this isn't even a Gundam, and it's not even from a Gundam show either. It is from its own anime called Kokai Senki, or its English name, Arming Warrior at the Border. The show came out in 2021 and ended in the following year, having a total of 2 seasons. Now, when you mention Kyokai Senki, you get one of these two opinions. Fuck Kyokai Senki! Bandai and Sunrise wasted their money and time on it when it could have been allocated to a Gundam show. The mech's designs are whack and the show is ass. Or, Kyokai Senki mention? Wow, what the fuck is a fanbase? I will have to be honest with you friends, the show story writing and storytelling is very ass. I'm all in for the shows only for its mech design. I think these designs are some of the most unique we've gone in a while. Well, what do I know? I'm just a filthy Gundam fan and the only anime I've been watching is Gundam. But anyways, this show does have its highlight. Notice I said highlight as a singular and not plural, because its one and only highlights to me is season 1 finale when Kenbu fought against Ghost Mark II. And as you probably noticed, the Kenbu Zan is different from the Kenbu. That's because the Zan is the upgraded Kenbu after it was damaged in the finale fight. They brought it as well as ammo back from seemingly death by plot armor in season 2. Suppose that's enough about the show. I'm not going to spoil it any further. Let's see what this kit actually have to offer. So taking a look at the box here, and I must really praise this box. Is very pretty. I don't know if pretty is the right word, but it's just eye appealing. It's just everything from the art style, the pose, the CG rendering, the effects. It just looks so good. A bit of false advertisement on the box here for the blade. You'll see later what I'm talking about. Taking a look at the side of the box, the graphic design just gets even better. It's just, you know, something about this half shot Kenbu Zan on the side of the box just looks so good. Like the lighting, the photography, the color of in the pictures just looks so good. On the other side of the box, you get even more information. You get to see some of it poses. You get to see his weapons. You get to see his sword. You get to see a little bit of his inner frame. Yeah, again, a little bit of false advertisement, but we'll get into that later. You get to see the extra gimmicks included. The sticker sheets is shaping up to be a good kit. Opening up the box, oh nope, those are extra. Let me move those out the way. You immediately get greeted with the manual, and I just say the manual is, it's just beautiful. Opening it up, you get to see even more of those beautiful photography shots and beautiful poses. For a full mechanics kit, for a design and anime that Bandai seemingly not to care that much about, this looks so good. It looks like it has so much effort put into it. I think this is my first full mechanics kit, so maybe all the other ones have it, but this one left a really good impression on me, and I'm willing to buy more full mechanics kit in the future. One thing I do notice going through the steps of the manual is that they're pretty big, and it's a little bit ironic. This is a big kit, but that often signifies that there's not a lot of part separation, not a lot of complexity in the build. So it might turn you off, it might turn you on, different strokes for different folks, but it's fine with me. And as we're looking through the parts here, again, you know, you don't need me to tell you, but these parts look very big. It's like an upscale HG. So again, my point stands that this kit doesn't really have a lot of complexity and part separation. It doesn't have that much color to be separated, but when you look at parts this big, it kind of makes you feel like this is a bit of a cheap kit. Cheap in it, not in the sense that it's like cheap pricing, but cheap in engineering. It seems like they didn't really put that much effort into it. like separating the different armors and stuff like that. And looking at the sword here, that's what I meant by false advertising, because look, they don't include any of the effects parts they were promoting. What's the blue? What's the blue to show that the sword is heated up? The sword just seems like it's just two big pieces slapped together, so a bit disappointing there. But if you're a skilled painter, this is like easy taking a candy from a child for you. So before we actually move on to the building experience, let's just look at the box one more time and measure how actually big it is, because as you can see, this is a pretty big box. So it is about 15.5 tall and 12.5 wide. And here I have another box to compare for it, which is the real grade Hainu. And the reason why I'm doing this is to show you the price point that this goes for, and the plastic that you get in it, as well as the engineering and all of that, doesn't really match up. So I think this kit retail normally for about $40 to $50 right now from a post build experience, but after you watch the review you understand. But something like this that you can get for high 40s to low 50s and 60s, it doesn't really match up, because something like the real grade Hainu here that you can get for basically $50 flat from like any model kit shop, or okay, you know, even a high 60 including shipping if you buy from an online shop, it still feels much more worth it than spending like something like $55, $64 for the full Mechanic Kenbu Zan here. And that's quite unfortunate. It just feels like, you know, the designer, they tried their best, but it just seems like for whatever reason this kit just got shot in the foot. For whatever reason, that the price is so high. I don't know if because it's the IP, you know, because it's something new that Bandai have to like pay for licensing and all of that. It just feels really unfair for Kyokai Senki. Measuring the box, it is 4.25 thick. This box is pretty much master grade size, but when you compare it to the real grade Hainu, the real grade Hainu is only 3 3/4 inches thick. There's so much more plastic and engineering packed into the real grade Hainu, but there's not that much going for the full mechanics Kenbu Zan. Understandably, it is a real grade versus a full mechanics. I know, you know, this argument isn't really making sense when you're comparing the boxes. It just feels like, why was this full mechanics box so large for? Taking up space for no reason. Another reason why I can probably think that the box is so large is probably because it has to accommodate the first batch release that includes the clear armor pieces in there. And here's another unfair comparison, is the MG Alex 2.0. I bought this kit on sale at Toys Arena from their 10th sale sometime around October. I got it for $45, which is a banging deal for that. But regular retail, you get this kit for like maybe $60. But again, assuming that the full mechanics Kenbu Zan is also maybe somewhere around the $55 to $60 mark, it is not beating out the value that the MG Alex offer you. Because think about it, the MG Alex, it has beam sabers, shields that can open up, Gatling guns in its forearms, it has specialized joint covers, beam rifle, it has the full Chobam armor in that kit also for $60. So again, it just seems like whoever did the pricing for Kyokai Senki kits just want to purposely kill it in the water already. To give credit where it is due, the cockpit on this kit is actually very detailed, and it's such a shame because most of the time it's going to be covered up anyway, so nobody's going to see it. It's not even like it's part of the outer inner frame. No, most of the time you're not gonna see the cockpit at all unless you're specifically painting it and taking pictures of it to show off. But no, you're not gonna see it. You know, in the anime, the show usually like to makes you feel that the cockpit inside a mobile suit is a lot bigger than it is, but looking at it here, I'm getting claustrophobia to seeing him sitting in this cockpit. This is tiny. So I don't really get certain things about this kit. If you're a veteran builder, I'm talking maybe like 10-15 years of building Gunpla, you can tell me, but I don't really get the point of having these two-piece connect like this. They created a dead end, you know, there's no way of removing it unless you're more abrasive methods. So in my 8 years of building Gunpla, I've never understood why some parts are designed like this. To give Kyokai Senki some credits, I think this might be the best piston design I've ever seen. There's some good ones, but most of the time on Gundams they feel a little bit too repetitive. The average piston you think of is just one rod going into another rod, but this is different. This is, well, again, it's one rod going into a hole, but a lot of time pistons limits the articulation of a joint, but in this case it doesn't. It actually allows for a lot of outward reaching of the arm, and I think that's just so cool. So Kyokai Senki pleasantly surprised me with this one. Now let's talk more about the inner frame. And being a full mechanics kit, you think it's good, right? For carrying the name full mechanics, this kit doesn't have that much mechanical mechanism going on. I guess if you want to say the full mechanics in the name is having a complete inner frame, then sure, yeah, like an upscale HG but just with a full inner frame, sure, go ahead. But it's a little bit misleading because, okay, and I guess maybe I'm too innocent, but no, and that's the entire point of the line, but there's just nothing this kit inner frame has to offer you. Honestly, the only people I see that's gonna have fun out of this inner frame is the painters. You know what, maybe that's the whole point. Maybe that's the whole point of this inner frame being so bare bone, is that so you can add on whatever details you want into it. But just thinking about the price you pay for this, that doesn't have a lot going on in this inner frame. Nor does it have a lot going on in its outer armors either, because strangely enough the inner frame has more surface details than the outer armor, which is kind of funny. And a lot of the inner frame parts are just two big pieces slapped together and that's it. There's not complex joints. Maybe it's due to the nature of this kit's design, but look at this elbow joint. It's literally just a peg and a hole. Unlike on a Gundam at least, where it's like somewhat mimicking an elbow joint, this thing is just straight up a peg and a hole. Again, you know, different strokes for different folks. I'm fine with the design. I'm fine with how this kit's designed, but it's just the fault of the design. Again, on the arms here, this doesn't even have the liberty of at least making the inner frame seems more fuller, because the forearm piece on here is just one big empty pieces, and the only reason why it's covered up is it's covered up by an outer armor piece, covered up with an inner frame piece at least. And I guess Bandai really doesn't give a shit about this kit anyways. One thing to praise about this kit connection is at least in the shoulder inner frame, if you look closely inside the holes where the outer armor plugs into it, is not just simply two parts like just wedged together. Instead, there's actually little protrusions in there, just, I assume, just big enough to hold the parts tightly, but also just small enough to allow the parts to be removed with enough force. I think that's actually pretty insane design. Maybe that has been there in some more kits, but this is the first time that I've seen it in my 8 years of building Gunpla. So kudos to Bandai for doing that. And I haven't seen this kind of stuff on third-party design and Chinese company stuff either. So kudos to Bandai. And again, bringing up that price tag, for the price you're paying for this kit, I would have at least liked to see some metallic injection parts. I'm not asking for nice painted silver, gold, anything like that. I'm just saying some simple metallic injections, silver, chrome, would have been still nice, because there's a lot of missed opportunity on this kit to add those into it, like little panels and frame bits. Just would elevate this inner frame so much. Even if you're not gonna make it poke through the outer armor, it's just add extra value to this kit in your collection. Now with his armor back on, let's talk about his articulation. For me, I find this articulation okay. I find it acceptable for this scale and this price. Some area I would like to see improvement, but maybe it's the design, that's the way it is. This neck joint pleasantly surprised me. It works on a double ball joint type of thing, like most typical average HG, but it went above and beyond with an extra hinge at the base of the neck on top of the ball joint. So it allows the head to look up and down and side to side, do a full 360 rotation, super good. And it also have a cup inside the head as well, so it allows the head to move a lot. Inside the arm shoulder, we do have a hinge joint that allows it to go up and down pretty well. The shoulder armor is separated from the bicep and it can go 360 on its own. The bicep is just a peg and a hole, so it does give you pretty good elbow band. I don't really consider this, the elbow is way too high being elbow, but I guess to for this kit. That's the elbow. The wrist can go all the way forward, all the way back. The secondary wrist is a ball joint and a hinge at the palm. The shoulder inside the chest can swing forward, and you can see the piston moving really nicely here. It offers so much forward movement. Also have a peg on the hole again, and the peg on the shoulder inside the chest can go up and down. So that is the maximum shoulder raise, which is parallel to the ground, but honestly, that's good enough for me. Now, one disappointing thing I find about this kit's abs is that it stayed true to its design, but I'm just jealous and I'm just spoiled by what the robot Damashi was able to achieve with this double extended abs. So look at it, it has a total of 6 joints in there that allows for so much combination of movement, and the chest can fold down very naturally. This kit, it can still fold down naturally and gives you a pretty good ab crunch, but it's just blocked by the extra design, extra fins on its crotch there. A little bit unfortunate, but still pretty good band. It can swivel and turn 360 all on its own peg, and it does have a side to side that's allowed by a peg and a hole on the back of the abs there. So pretty unique, and as long as it works, it works. The legs unfortunately can only do that much of a split. It can't raise any higher because it's blocked by this armor. The back skirt here is actually very interesting because it has 2 modes. The first mode is when it's locked in place, it can only go so much, but the second mode you just have to pull it out a little bit and it can flap up all the way. And inside the back skirt is actually the pilot transferring gimmick. So you flip it out and it's actually like a little platform, and they do also include little ammo in there, the pilot, so you can sit them on there, take some pictures. Pretty cool, pretty unique gimmick, but I'm actually never a fan of these. The leg forward kick is pretty good. The backward kick is also pretty good too. The knee bend, again, same story as the elbow, pretty good. And that is the ankle bend. A little bit weird because specifically the Zan ankle is very limited compared to the regular Kenbu ankle, and it's a bit disappointing because for a specifically ground close combat unit, I don't get why they made the choice to limit the ankle mobility. But some design philosophy or articulation design still baffle me a little bit. The feet can swivel side to side. The ankle armor is on a ball joint, can move independently, and the feet can also fold up a little bit and down a lot. That's about it for the articulation. So super simple but pretty effective in my opinion. We're now in the accessories portion of the review video, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. This kit or design doesn't have a lot of accessories, and that's its weakest point. Even in the original Kenbu, it has its sword, its gun. It has like 2 different forms. In the beginning of the show, it has the first form where it have like a little makeshift shield on his left arm, and on the later half of the show, it has like a claw. But the Zan doesn't really have that. Instead, it's very weak, and is here in this portion. I'm just showing off to you the backpacks, the gun that's attached to the forearms, and the sword, and that's it. And even with the little amount of accessories, quality of the accessories doesn't make up for it in any way. The sword is just 2 big pieces slapped together, and for some reason there's a clear piece on it, like this. It has a camera on the sword. I don't really get why a big sword needs a camera, but again, part of this design still kind of confused me. The gun isn't really anything that's special either. It's just a gun that's strapped to the forearm, and that's it, unlike a real mechanical gun that the original Kenbu have. And yeah, that's it. That's all the weapon this kit has. So if you're buying this kit for its accessories, be prepared to be disappointed, because this is very lackluster. And now we're at the post demonstration part of the video, and it's very unfortunate to disappoint you again, but I'm just gonna have to say it out straight. I didn't really have a fun time posing this kit. I know usually I show about 3 to 5 different poses in each video, but in this one I can only muster like 2, and only one of those 2 poses where I really have commentary to give you on, and that's the first one here, which is again for a grounded close combat suit. This kit's ankle design doesn't make sense at all. It have a very big ankle armor that extends all the way down to the bottom of his foot, and when you try to angle it for like a wide stance, what I'm trying to say is the armor blocks the foot pivot, and also maybe it's the fault of the design that this kit doesn't really have that much accessories to play with. But I sat there and I tried to think in my head, oh okay, what kind of poses can I put this guy in? Like that's simple enough that I can commentate on for the video, but I'm like, there's nothing really, because to pose a design, a kit like this, you kind of need time to sit down and adjust with it and warm up to it. And unfortunately, being a bigger scale kind of makes it a little bit harder to play with too. So I really do love this kit, but I think for me it's best to leave it on display in a cool standing pose, and that's it. So if you're buying this kit with the intention of posing a storm with it, I'm not saying it's not doable. It's gonna take a lot of effort, and that's for me who's been posing for a long time. Not to sound pretentious, that's my genuine opinion, whether you want to take it or not. At last, I want to give you my final thoughts, and to be quite honest, this is not a kit suited for everyone. Not because it's a hard kit or it's a difficult kit to build, it's just simply not a kit a lot of people will enjoy because of many reasons, but my top ones are, it's a bit of a weird design because Kyokai Senki design has been catching flags. Some people hate it, some people love it, some people are okay with it, but the majority I've seen, most people don't accept it. I guess people are so used to looking at Gundams that anything else that's not a Gundam can be seen as heresy. But second reason is this kit just doesn't offer you a lot, and that's just a fault of its design and nature in itself. It's a full mechanics rather than being an MG. It has a full inner frame, but its inner frame is super bare bone and super basic that it doesn't really give you a sense of fulfillment like an MG frame would give you. And third of all, this kit is just plain boring. Now, I don't make review videos often. I only do it on kits I like. Now, when I say that this is a boring kit, I'm not saying that I don't like it. I really do. I'm speaking in this perspective of the reviewer to you guys, thinking that would other people enjoy this kit besides me? And I highly think no. I like this kit because I love Kyokai Senki designs. I love both the Kenbu and the Kenbu Zan, and and this is a bigger kit of those design, and I want something big of those design displayed in my room, so of course I love it. If you don't like the design and you want more complicated kits and you want kits that are exciting, this kit is not for you. And one more point I want to bring up about this kit is not disassembling friendly. Is not easy to disassemble because it takes some serious skills to disassemble this kit without breaking stuff or damaging stuff. I didn't took pictures, but I did damage and scratch several pieces when I was trying to disassemble it because my dumbass for some reason put on the armor for the kit, and then I realized, oh shoot, I didn't film the portion for the inner frame, so then I had to take off all the armors again, and the kit didn't like its armor taken off. Like, who likes their clothes taken off? Wait, what I'm trying to say is be careful when if you do get this kit, be careful when you're taking its armors off. It doesn't like that. And yeah, that's it. Well, you know what? A bit of a personal story time at the end here. I've been very busy. I know I say that every video, but I've just been especially busy. This year, I kind of made a resolution for myself that I would make one review video a month, and I know I haven't been able to keep up with that. I have a lot more goals, but it's just this work gets the worst of you. I work as a CNA now, and I work 4 days a week, and to some of you that sounds like a luxury, but to me it sounds like I'm starting to step into slavery. And it's crazy to say, but I'm not taking doubles. I'm not working double shift. I'm not working overtime shifts. I'm just doing 8-hour shifts a day. Now I know there's some real workaholics out there that's gonna call me a pussy if I'm not working doubles or taking overtime, but I still value my health and I value my own time. There's things that I want to do at home rather than just being at work all the time. It just feels like I have no more time for myself anymore, and it's, I don't know if I can keep up with the goal of making one review video a month. Well, at the time of speaking this, I'm already working on another review, which is the Daban MG XX Gundam, but I don't know when it's gonna be finished. Quite frankly, I don't know when it's gonna be finished, because this video took almost 2 weeks of production, from taking footages, building the kit, composing my thoughts about it, and putting the footages together and editing. It took about, I think, 2 or even 3 weeks. I don't know how long now, but I don't know how long I'm gonna take on the next video, but please look forward to it and please come back to watch it. I don't really have that much of an advice for any of you out there who may feel like the pressure of life is getting to you. My outlet to stress and general inconveniences in life is just my wonderful girlfriend. Even though we're in long distance, we call, we watch anime together, we play games together, sometimes we even build Gunpla together, and it's just wonderful having her in my life. And again, thank you, baby, for getting me this kit. Even if nobody else is watching till the end of this portion, I know you probably still are, and I want to thank you again. And my second biggest outlet is this hobby itself. This hobby helped me through so many phases of my life. I'm 20 years old, so I'm fairly young still. I'm not unk status yet. I don't want to sound emo, but there's just hard periods in my life, and this hobby has helped me through so much of it. Sometimes I neglect it. Outside of this hobby, I don't really see myself doing anything else for entertainment, because I don't even play video games like that anymore. There's just no games that interest me, and this hobby is my only source of joy. And recently, just working so much is taking my time away from this hobby, and I've been feeling a little bit crushed. But I'm hoping to at least put like maybe an hour into this hobby every day, so I can at least take some pictures, build some kits, get some footages for video. Just an hour of work in this hobby a day goes a long way. I know not everyone have a significant other that cares for them or have that much friends or close friends, but I want you to know that whatever you're going through, and no matter the phases and periods in your life, maybe you're still going through school, going through a breakup, having some difficult times financially, emotionally, physically, mentally, the world much rather see you alive, striving, and trying to continue living on every day than being the worst possible version of you. I don't want this video to get therapeutic out of nowhere. I just thought that this is some nice things to say at the end of this review. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Please come back for the next one, and be safe, and I hope you all a good life until the next time you see me again. Goodbye.